So now let's go to CodePen. Okay, now we are going to talk about block versus inline element. I have a paragraph here. Here, this is para 1. Here I'm going to have this is para 2. Now when I did this, can you see paragraph 2 is coming next to paragraph 1? Now we are going to explore one more tag called as span. Okay, span tag is exactly like paragraph. Now here I'm going to write this is my span tag here. I'm going to create one more span tag. Span 2 will come after span 1. It will come next to this. There is a CSS property called as display here. Now what happens here when I have this paragraph, this is para 1. So basically the display property of paragraph is by default block. Okay. Even if you don't write like this display block will by default be applied to my paragraph. Okay. Now when an element has this display block, now what happened to this? Now see, I'll inspect here. When I hover on this, can you see that blue part, that content? So basically whenever an element is display block, that content is taking the entire section. Okay. It will occupy the entire width of the screen. But when it comes to span tag here, what happens? The display value is by default inline. When it is inline by default, what will happen? The span tag will occupy only the space required. Now look at this. Now I'll take and when I hover on this span tag, can you see this? This span tag is only occupying the width which is required. But when it comes to paragraph, what it is doing? It is occupying the entire width. Okay. There is no space left here. It is because the paragraph is by default display block. Now, if one more element is going to come here, if I try to create one more span tag, here you can see the remaining width, it is free here. It is not occupied by anything. That is the reason why when I create one more span tag, it can come next to this. Here I'm going to have this is span 2. When I did this is span 2, here that span 2 is coming next to span 1. Okay. If I try to have a paragraph after this, because this paragraph is display block, it will occupy the entire width. That is the reason why this paragraph 2, it will be coming below this. Okay. When I make this paragraph display inline, can you see now this paragraph, it is only occupying the space which is required here. So now here, if I have span tag, here I'm going to write this is span 1. Now in this case, what will happen? The span tag will come next to the paragraph. Okay, because it is coming next because I made this paragraph as display inline. Now it is only taking the space which is required. Okay. So guys, now I'm going to have headings. What is this? Display inline or display block? It is display block because here you can clearly see they are coming one below other. Okay, they are not coming side by side here. Okay, so it is very clear that they are display block, they are not display inline. Okay, similarly here we have a button tag. What this button tag will do? This button tag will help you to create a button. Button will open here, it will close. Here you have login button. So when I created login button, it is coming like this. Similarly, I'm going to create a register button. When I did this, you'll notice that this register button will be created next to this. Okay. What is the default display value of a button? It is very clear that it is inline because they are coming next side by side, right? So they are only taking the space which is required by them. Okay. So now what are some of the examples of block elements? this H1 paragraph, unordered list, ordered list, div. And what are some of the inline elements? Image is there, span tag is there, this bold is there, italic, anchor tag.